Alright folks, I'm back. We took a little break. Hukalot's and I swap bikes so you can try the 400L and I can get a back-to-back comparison with the 300. Feels good to be on the 300 again, but it does feel like I'm on a moped. The power really is a night and day difference. These brakes definitely work better. Oh shit, I'm going. I don't want to get stuck behind this trailer. I will say, when I wear this dirt helmet, I hate the way the air comes off the top of this windscreen. It's really turbulent air and it hits me right square in the face. It's also incredibly loud. I can't hear myself talk, which in some ways is a welcome relief.
Shut up, boo!
I'm surprised to be saying this, but the DRZ400 actually feels more stable. Not that this one's bad, but and going back to back is something I noticed. That DRZ just feels so planted and good on the road. This feels good too, but the DRZ feels better. I lack the vocabulary and riding acumen to describe why that is, but just as a layperson, maybe because this one catches more wind or is more subject to the wind, I don't know. But it kind of dances around and moves around the road a little bit more. The DRZ just feels really very straight and true. So at 60 miles an hour indicator, let's go to about 63. That should be about a true 60 miles an hour. The DRZ doesn't feel any more stressed than this motor does. The revs are about the same, except this one's in 6th, the DRZ is in 5th. They both vibrate, but neither is bad. I guess you probably feel these vibrations less, but neither are obnoxious. Fuck's sakes. Every time I get back on this thing, the turn signal's in the wrong spot, Honda. Fix it. One thing I love on this 300L is the dash. This little dash is awesome. Everything you need to see and a nice compact display. I love the dash. Well, I've got to recant my earlier statement from my thought experiment. If I had to pick one machine, I could not keep both. I could only keep one. And it was either keep this or the DRZ plus the difference in money I've invested in that one. I don't know that I'd keep this one. I might keep the DRZ and take the cash. I like this bike a lot, but that DRZ is really good. And it provides fun factor in a way this one cannot. This is a giant off-road scooter, and the DRZ is a street legal dirt bike.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I hate EFI. I don't hate it. I love fuel injection. I hate the way it feels. It's another thing, when you hop back and forth between the bike, the throttle response on a carb feels so much better. This on-off jerky feeling is, I hate it. I'd gotten used to it, and then I got on that DRZ, and now hopping back on here, the throttle response on the DRZ feels way better. I think this bike has the same problem the 450L does. It's just less pronounced because there's so much less power. It doesn't jerk you around the way the 450L would. What a beautiful day it is today.
This video ended up being pretty short, so I thought I would
record some additional thoughts here. I was probably a little bit unfair to the Rally. My main takeaway from this, just again, this is just first impressions from a back-to-back ride. Main takeaway is that these are both awesome bikes. They're awesome for different reasons. The DRZ can be had much cheaper. There's just no used 300Ls available, and even new ones are hard to find at this point, whereas the DRZ's been around for 20 years. So there's lots of good used DRZs available. From a value proposition, the DRZ is a fantastic option, and the power gives it a fun factor that I can't find on the 300L Rally. Now, it's also worth pointing out that I've been taking it easy on the 300L because it's been in the break-in. I just finished the break-in oil change tonight, so I'm hoping this weekend I can take it out and not have to worry about babying it so much, and maybe that will change my opinion a little bit. On paper and in practical terms, the 300L Rally is a very good motorcycle. I feel like the brakes are better. The tank range is better. It gets really good gas mileage. I think it's going to be a very reliable machine. If I'm going out in the middle of nowhere somewhere, I'm going to take the Honda. I feel like that's the one less likely to leave me stranded. You know, my DRZ, granted, it's a 2007, so it's now a, 13, 14, 15-year-old machine. Even though I feel like it's in pretty good condition, I just wouldn't have the same trust or confidence in it that I do in a brand new Honda. So if you're traveling long distances or something, I think that's definitely a consideration. Again, looking at things on paper, the Honda is just a very practical overall motorcycle. It will do everything I need it to do well enough. When I ride both of them back to back, and I'm not thinking about all the practical things and just the experience of riding them, the DRZ is just a lot of fun. I really had fun riding it, and all the practical stuff, I'm not thinking about that when I'm just out riding. All this stuff is so highly subjective. It depends how you're going to use the bike. Are you commuting? Are you doing BDRs? Are you riding across the country? Are you going camping? You know, for me, I'm just a weekend warrior guy that goes out for a couple hours, so I'm looking at these bikes from that perspective. I got the 300L Rally thinking I was going to do some longer rides in places that I wouldn't want to have ridden the 450L. It had been too much time on the street, and so I thought the 300L Rally, I can go ride an hour on street and then take some off-road dirt roads and then ride back an hour on the highway, and the bike's perfect for that. How often am I going to do those rides? I don't know. Probably not as often as I thought I was going to. I also got my dad's thoughts when we got back from our ride. I tried to get him to say it on camera, but he wasn't interested in doing that. But his thoughts coming off the back of both motorcycles, he's been riding motorcycles for 60 years. He said if he was doing longer rides, longer distance, you know, several hours in a day, he would want to ride the Rally. If he were doing shorter rides, just in the local area, the DRZ. And I think that's a pretty good way of looking at it. It's way too early for me to say, you know, am I going to keep this one? Am I going to keep that one? I did the little thought experiment on if I could only keep one just for fun. I don't know. I need a lot more miles on both of them to form a better opinion. This is just early first impressions. I can say, you know, the Rally is, I'm not going to get into trouble with the throttle. I'm not going to whiskey it. The brakes feel really good. I don't have any fuel anxiety. It's doing everything I need it to do. But for pure fun factor, hopping on the DRZ, it's a really fun bike to ride. So we'll see what happens over time as I get to spend more time on both bikes. Looking forward to riding them both. And yeah, Thanks for watching.